And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Lydia Chorus Center here at Temple University, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. This is a special attraction, and it's all brought to you by Mr. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing USA. 10 rounds of boxing for the Women's Lightweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by JD Sports and streamed exclusively to the United States by Dazn and broadcast by Sky Sports to the United Kingdom. Sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, the World Boxing Association, the World Boxing Organization, and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Executive Director Greg Zerb. The three judges at ringside scoring this bout: Dewey LaRosa, Robin Taylor, and Steve Weisfeld. And your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Benji Estevez. And now it's undefeated champion versus undefeated champion. Somebody's has got to go. So let's get this party started. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red with gold and weighing in officially at 133.2 pounds. A perfect professional record. 14 fights, 14 victories, including 8 big wins by knockout. From Sao Paulo, Brazil, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO Women's Lightweight Champion of the World, the Queen, Rose Volante. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with gold and weighing in officially at 133.9 pounds. Since capturing Olympic gold, she now has a perfect professional record consisting of 12 fights, 12 victories, including 5 wins by knockout, fighting out of Bray, Ireland, and representing all of Ireland, the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF, WBA Women's Lightweight Champion of the World, Katie Taylor.
Katie, Rosa, ya recibí tus instrucciones. You've already received your instructions. Quiero una pelea limpia. Give me a clean fight. Obedece mis instrucciones todos los tiempos. Obey my commands at all times. Y mucho más importante, protégete durante pelea todo el tiempo. Much more important, protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Benji Estevez there, referee, 27 years as a top referee. Katie Taylor, one of the top amateurs in the history of women's boxing. Rose Volante did not start training at all until she was 26 years old, when she found herself at 231 pounds. So she is already a success story. I wonder, Chris Mannix, how can she box against Katie Taylor? I guess we'll find out early.
I don't think she can box against Katie Taylor. I think she's going to have to knock out Katie Taylor. And Katie, as skilled as she is, she's the complete fighter.
Round number 1, Volante aggressive from the very start, moving quickly. 2-minute rounds. Taylor taking a close look, but Volante is fast and aggressive. Taylor being defensively responsible. Certainly Sergio a little wary as well. You have to respect someone right in front of you like that.
You have to respect Volante. She's coming right at you. She has good pop in both punches, and she's a champion too, an undefeated champion.
I tell you, they're clashing right now. Volante is coming in, stepping in with the right hand. She could catch Taylor with something or get caught with something.
You don't want to exchange with the Volante if you're Taylor. You have too much pedigree. Fight behind the jab, box, move around.
And knocks her down right there with the hook.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ¿Está bien? Ok, enséñame.
And she did catch her on the way in. A knockdown already for Taylor in round 1. Now goes to work.
All right, break. Limpio. Stop. Break. Suelta.
Taylor has gone the distance 5 of the last 6 fights.
Suelta.
Although, Chris, I don't think we've seen her lose a round, right?
No, I don't think we have either. And people have criticized Katie Taylor for a lack of power. But as we said at the top of the show, she has not been fighting opponents who have been willing to do what Rose Volante is doing, which is stand in front of her and trade punches with her.
And you can see the fire in Katie Taylor right there because she's extremely sportsmanlike. And yet when she got hit in the back of the head, she immediately popped Rose Volante in the back of the head to let her know, you cannot do that to me.
Oh yeah, both fighters, both champions are soft-spoken, they're quiet, but they have that confidence,
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
that viciousness in them.
Quick first round. They only go 2 minutes in women's boxing, but a knockdown for Taylor already.
Katie Taylor rocked Volante at the end of that round.
All right, sit. Give me the mouthpiece. Close your eyes.
Bem, mas assim, respira. Respira.
Now you got it. Breathe. Drink.
Oi?
Good.
Então, mexendo bem o tronco, balança bem.
Like we touched on it earlier, Chris, Volante's aggression is gonna help Katie Taylor's power. Right there, she was just a little bit too aggressive, a little bit of a head clash, but that punch was clean, and that definitely rocked Rose Volante.
That was actually a short right hand. You can see, I mean, that is extremely short.
It was short and right on the tip of the chin.
Wow, the phantom punch. Except this landed, of course. Round number 2, again, a 2-minute round, so they'll go quickly. Scheduled for 10, lightweight championship in women's boxing. Katie Taylor, as you said, Sergio, play to your strength. You have too much pedigree, but she was wary, but she was watching for what was happening in front of her. The fury that Volante brought could be exploited. Taylor taking a long look, but keeping Volante at the end of her jab and fires off her right hand.
All right, break. One thing.
You know, Katie Taylor early in her career is dealing with the same problems that top-tier men have dealt with. She has a tough time getting opponents to step in the ring with her. Rose Volante is here because she's being paid $150,000 to be here.
That's a good purse in women's fighting. By the way, sharp right hand by Volante as well. She still remains dangerous.
I was gonna say, Katie Taylor needs to close her mouth because she got caught with her mouth open. That's very dangerous, especially if you're punching as hard as Volante is.
Hard thudding shots from Volante, not as crisp and short as Taylor's, but still dangerous. Rose Volante, by the way, that first year that she started training, when she was 26, lost 90 pounds. Said she wanted a box. The trainers at her gym in Brazil wouldn't train her at first, didn't take her seriously, and now she's got a world title belt. That's how far she's come.
I'll tell you what, Katie Taylor's mixing it up with Volante. I don't know if that's the best idea, but that's what happens when you knock down your opponent so early.
Going to the body there with a combination, following up to the head.
See a little bit of a mark there on Rose Volante's right cheek.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Again, we all get trained for 3-minute rounds, so these rounds will go quickly. You can see that red spot on the cheek. And did she catch Taylor? She ducks down. There will be danger whenever Volante is up and throwing.
Comedy, she's doing the work for us. Let her get close. Fucking let her run into something. Let's go. It's good.
Sergio, what do you think about Ross Sentiment and what he said there?
Perfect instructions. Exactly what I said. You don't want to go out there just because you knocked her down. You don't want to go out there and get reckless and try to land the same punch again. Get behind the jab, slowly get back to hurting her.
Look, Taylor didn't come in thinking Rose Volante was not at her level. She said, look, she's probably the best fighter I've ever fought. She's game, dangerous, probably the toughest of my career. But as her trainer, Ross Animate, told us, look, she has more to pull from. She has just many more dimensions in the ring.
A lot more dimensions. A gold medalist. She started boxing earlier. I mean, she has everything going for her, so why fight Volante's fight?
Jumping in with the jab and still fairly aggressive. She likes to fight. I mean, basically, you can see she enjoys someone who comes after her because she can fight.
But so can Rose Volante. So this is, I mean, it makes for an exciting fight, but you're giving her an opportunity to land something when she shouldn't. She should be missing like that.
You know, with Rose Volante, we could be seeing something of a preview of what we might see with Amanda Serrano against Katie Taylor down the line. Another big puncher that Katie left to contend with.
And Serrano a lot more polished. That could be a big fight on the horizon. Serrano signed up to fight on Dazn to box. So again, that one is out there at a certain point.
Break, no punching.
I'm already noticing that Volante's not really going at Katie Taylor. She's staying in the middle of the ring. She wants Katie to come to her. I don't know if that's because of her age. She is 36 years old, doesn't want to follow the younger fighter around, or she just wants Katie to do all the job and punch in between the shots.
I think there's only so much energy to go around Sergio, too. She's been beaten back just a little bit. She's obviously in great condition, but you know these are tiring shots. She just ate a hook right there.
That's a great point. Great point, BK.
Final seconds.
Time.
Let's go to LZ Granderson. LZ.
Hey, thanks a lot, BK. You already mentioned earlier that one of the reasons why Rose Volante was able to start so quickly is because she was so passionate about losing weight. Well, what you didn't mention was that she was actually a law student when she was at her heaviest. In fact, when she decided to become a full-time fighter, she was at a crossroad. Spend more money pursuing to become a lawyer or spend more time and money becoming a professional fighter. Now, my mom would probably have a heart attack if I chose the latter, but obviously it worked out really well for Volante. Back to you guys.
LZ, thank you so much. Sergio, I wonder like how much then you make an adjustment in your head or how much your spirit is affected after you're dropped so early.
Can Volante make an adjustment, really? I mean, we know what she is. She's a pressure fighter. She has a good right hand. She's not getting close enough to land body shots because Taylor's not letting her.
And look, Volante is very busy. You know, CompuBox stats are kept, and they give you a very good indication as we get to round 4. Katie Taylor in the black, Rose Volante in the red. And work rate is something that can be tracked fight to fight. And Rose Volante throws 53 punches around. And keep in mind, those are 2-minute rounds. Taylor only 40. So while Taylor might be much more accurate or more measured, that doesn't mean everything. It does show you that Volante comes in to fight. Diminished somewhat now. Her mouth is open, sucking in some extra air. I'll tell you what, I heard all about the Irish here in Philadelphia. The Irish in Boston sang a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, that was a little Irish singing there, Chris Mannix. You guys in Boston sang a lot harder.
We love our Katie Taylor in Boston.
Katie Taylor goes to the body as well.
Great body shot right there in the middle of the solar plexus.
You know, Rose Volante has looked a lot different these last 2 rounds than she did in the first 2. I mean, it looked to me like she came out going for broke in those first 2. Really slowed down the work rate last round and a half.
And you know, guys, you know what I see? Like, it's easy because Taylor and Tevin Farmer have fought on the same card now 3 straight times, but there's a mental intensity that you see in both. I mean, it's so impressive.
Break.
Volante complaining about headbutts. It looks like she's bleeding on the left side of her temple, up by her braids. Maybe due to a head clash, she is complaining.
Pretty quick turnaround here for Katie Taylor. She beat Eva Wallstrom December 15th, went back to her home in Bray, Ireland for 3 weeks for Christmas, turned right back around in the United States for camp in Connecticut, and now she's back here for St. Patrick's Day. But again, that's a big part of the strength in that Katie Taylor, Tevin Farmer are back, and you can watch them on DAZN. Co-feature here, Katie Taylor, Rose Volante, again for the lightweight championship. Volante, 3rd title defense of her WBO title. Taylor has titles in the WBA and the IBF. I know it's confusing, but Katie Taylor seemingly the best lightweight in the world in women's boxing. Is that true, Chris?
At 135 pounds, absolutely. The question becomes, where does she rank among the women pound for pound? And we're going to learn a lot about that. Amanda Serrano's out there, and I think inside Katie Taylor's camp, they'd love to see a Cecilia Breakhouse fight at some point in 2019.
A lot of hooks already from Katie Taylor, going hooks to the body, and a right hand lands the combination. She has the ability, Sergio, to go from a 5th gear to 6th gear. You think her work rate is outstanding, and then suddenly it gets even better.
Because it's because of her footwork. Her footwork allows her to throw that many punches. Ooh, great body shot right there. That caught the attention of Volante.
Yeah, Volante buckles over slightly there. That hurt her. She is hurt right now. She's in a lot of pain. You can see on her face. You can't hide it. Hard hook to the head. Katie Taylor's breaking her down. Head and then body.
Beautiful combinations by Katie Taylor. Tapped her upstairs just to land a body shot.
You're right, and that's the right word, Sergio. Taps her upstairs, goes hard to the body. Now varies it with double right hands.
I would love to see Katie Taylor get an angle right here. Not stay in front of her. Tap her, get an angle, and then tap to the body.
It was that body shot you mentioned that really hurt Rose Volante and slowed her down.
Beautiful right hand there by Taylor.
In round 5, it's become all Katie Taylor here. More sharp combinations.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Volante much slower now. The start's coming out of her and will benefit from the 1-minute rest.
There's water there. In the stomach and the belly. Talking to her. Rosa, you're good? I'm good.
We go back to the lead hand. You can't overplay that jab. This is the fight where you got a Larry Holmes stick. You can kill her with it. You'll kill her with it. Boxing beautifully. Boxing beautifully. You good? Deep breath, deep breath. And listen, on the way out though, just be careful. You finish. Just don't go straight back where she finds you with some sloppy shit. It was a nice turn. Yeah.
She doesn't like it.
Relax, man. Every time we're close too. Don't overplay the headshots. Stool.
Katie Taylor turned pro at the age of 30 after 2 Olympic appearances. She's been very active as a pro. 6 fights in 2017, 4 in 2018. 3rd fight in 5 months. Extremely impressive every time out. Extremely consistent every single fight.
I think this is the most impressive that I've seen Katie Taylor. She's fighting a top-level 135-pounder, and from the first round on, she sapped the spirit out of her.
Oh, that was a vicious right hand she just landed on Volante. I don't know how much longer Volante could take this punishment.
Yeah, I don't think much either, Sergio. I mean, you could see the agony on her face in the last round. You see in round 5, 28 punches landed by Taylor, through 60 of them, and that's in a 2-minute round.
And Chris, we expected this. We knew Volante was going to come forward aggressively, which was going to give Katie Taylor a chance to land the big shots and hurt Volante.
She has that one-punch power, Rose Volante, but Katie Taylor beats you like that. Punches in bunches with pinpoint accuracy.
And now blood coming from the nose of Rose Volante as well. She's just getting beaten down. There's a better shot, Chris.
The Irish are coming out, Chris.
Not quite like Boston, but it's there. Look, Barry McGuigan, the great Irish champion, is here tonight as well. He's here with Luke Campbell. Barry in terrific condition. Great champion from the 1980s, from the border of Ireland and Northern Ireland.
Everything Katie Taylor's throwing is getting through that guard of Rose Volante.
Volante getting through the round, you got to give her that. She took some hard head shots there, the vicious body shot in the previous round. Getting ready for the main event.
And I told Eddie and Lou, I want him next, you know. He got to draw with his opponent, and he wasn't supposed to fight for a world title. I gave him a shot at the world title because I could have fought anybody I wanted. He wasn't the mandatory. So I gave him a shot, and, you know, I feel like he been real disrespectful, and, you know, he ain't give homage, you know. He only getting a shot because of me.
Farmer in our main event. Chris Mannix from moments ago. Tevin Farmer and John O'Carroll out of Dublin, Ireland. This is Katie Taylor of Bray, Ireland. Volante there with a nice body shot Sergio, as she tries to get back in the fight.
Two good body shots I've seen that Volante landed already. I think she's feeling the pressure. This is a must-win round for her if she wants to win this fight.
Showing a lot of heart here coming back too, and it's just really not going her way. And facing a relentless machine in Taylor. I mean, there's no 10-second interval, Chris, where she just is not there in your face.
No, that's what Katie Taylor does. Stays busy, stays active. And we talked coming in about how Katie Taylor has been virtually untouchable in her entire career. As you might expect, I've got her winning every single round of this fight.
After what we've seen with Gabe Rosado and Selecki, I'm not going to count Volante out until the last round of the last minute of the last round.
Chris, if we get a chance, we'll talk about that. We'll stay focused on this. But we already heard some, I don't know, puzzling scorecards. I would put it that way. It's a good judging crew this time around. Steve Weisfeld is one of the judges here. It's an experienced group. And again, try not to rush to judgment, but some puzzling judging earlier on. Here, round 7, Katie Taylor in the black on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Rose Volante out of Brazil in the red. Cuffing right hand there by Taylor. We talked to Demetrius Andrade early. Triple G has joined the Dazn team. Huge news, locking up the top middleweights. Let's take a look. Well, he's always wanted a fight. You see Rose Volante there, but let's talk Triple G for a moment. Golovkin signed up. Now, Chris Mannix, it can all happen at 160 pounds.
Yeah, the middleweight division, it goes through every fighter at Dazn at this point. But one thing I took away from my time with Golovkin in Los Angeles, he's not as focused on being a unified or undisputed middleweight champion as he was before. He's looking for big fights, and that could mean 160. But I think he's open to going to 168, Callum Smith, Dimitri Bivol. He just wants the biggest fights over the next 6.
Taylor goes to work here in round 8, battering Volante. Volante stays in and tries to trade. Saw the numbers there quickly through 7 rounds. Copy box numbers obviously in favor of Katie Taylor. Is Triple G big enough at 168? Can that happen, Chris?
He's flirted with the idea of moving up before, most notably in some went-nowhere talks with Andre Ward. His trainer, Abel Sanchez, told him he's comfortable with Gennady at 168
really?
pounds.
Because he's kind of a natural 154, maybe a little bigger than most guys at junior middleweight. Did a lot of his damage there. Just seems like he'd be at a disadvantage. But as a fan, do you want to see it? Yes.
Absolutely. Carl Froch's no name that he considered at 168 a few years back.
I want to see it. I mean, Golovkin has been the boogeyman for so long, but Andrade has been avoided for a long time.
Absolutely.
You avoided Golovkin.
I avoided both. Andrade's just as much of a boogeyman to me.
Hey, Sergio's no fool. Let's be smart out there.
That's why I'm here next to you guys.
Volante there, a little success with the jab. Fires it out. She has tried to stay in this fight. Body shots as well.
And she had an overhand right by Taylor, but by this time she's already adapted to Taylor's power, timing, and speed. Right now, the only thing that will stop Volante is an accumulation of punches.
That was a vicious combination.
Just like that.
Here is Katie Taylor again, slapping it into a higher gear. Volante holding on now, looks to her corner for a little help. Maybe some advice. Eats a hook twice to the ribs. And hard right hands as well from Taylor.
I don't even know where it started from, but it's been fun while I've been doing it, you know. It's just so easy to get under the skin, you know. You just have to say one thing and bomb, he just erupts. It's so easy to get under the skin. It's like arguing with a 12-year-old. It's fun.
You're the kind of fighter that likes to fight on the inside. You like to throw a lot of punches. What kind of fight do you want to avoid in a fight like this?
I don't care. I can make this any type of fight I want, really, to be honest. As long as I have him out of his comfort zone all night long, then it's a good night's work for me, you know.
Good luck, Jonathan.
Thank you. I appreciate having me.
That's coming up in the main event. Meantime, Katie Taylor, vicious and relentless. Going right after Rose Volante, and in between rounds, referee Benji Esteves stepped into Volante's corner and said, I'm going to give you a little bit of room, but I'm getting ready to stop it. And she is taking a lot of punishment.
She's taking a lot of punishment, and I agree with Benji Esteves. She's not in the fight. She's getting hit way too much, and look at those body shots.
Again, to the head and then the hook to the body. The thing is, she is so game. You know, like we saw with Gabe Rosado, you know, that they're not going to quit. They really do want it. She's undefeated, Rose Volante, 14-0. So when you have that you want to stay in there, but you can see 3 or 4 punch combinations coming out from Katie Taylor.
And not for nothing, Brian, but we got to give 2 champions their due. I mean, these are 2 champions. They want to go out like champions.
Round 9 scheduled for 10. You hear the yelling last round. That means you can end it here. Final 30 seconds, which she can. And maybe they clashed heads there, and Volante hurt to the nose. Now, she's been hurt by a lot here, but it looks like Benji Esteves is saying that's it. That's it. It's over. Katie Taylor with the stoppage. Rose Volante is complaining, and I believe she might have a certain point saying, hey, that was a clash of heads.
That was a clash of heads to the bridge of the nose. It opened up that gash, but regardless, Benji Esteves was already taking a close look at Volante. One more round to go. It wasn't a bad stoppage, in my opinion.
I agree, too, and yet I understand why Volante might sense a bit of unfairness. You know what I'm saying?
Unfairness, yes, I get it. She's a champion. She wants to hold on to her belt. She wants to last the distance. But fighter comes first. She was being overwhelmed by a better fighter tonight.
Just completely outboxed. You see the blood on the shirt of Benji Esteves, who stops it. Katie Taylor with a tremendous, another tremendous performance.
Another tremendous performance, and you know what? She stopped the fighter, an undefeated fighter who's never been stopped.
On St. Patrick's Day weekend, a first-hand look here in Philadelphia at the most popular, the most accomplished, and respected athlete from the Republic of Ireland. We'll go back, and again, early, it was a spirited Rose Volante. But here, we would take a quick look at this, Sergio. That's, again, a clash of heads against the right to the bridge of the nose. That hurts an awful lot, probably breaks her nose. And then Esteves would stop the fight.
It was an accidental clash of heads, but that was a bad cut. You've seen Volante bury her face in Esteves' shirt just to wipe the blood off her nose, and that blood was only going to profusely bleed even more as the rounds went on.
That hurts so much, Sergio, doesn't it? How many times has your nose been broken?
Oh, too many. Don't remind me, Brian. Don't remind me.
To see her wince like that, that's normal when you have someone's head hitting you on the bridge of the nose, and that's what she's complaining about here. She was outboxed. Michael Buffer is ready with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Benji Esteves calls a halt to the contest. The official time, 1 minute, 40 seconds of round number 9. This young lady now has 3 of the 4 major belts, just 1 belt away from being the undisputed champion. She's now IBF, WBA, WBO, Women's Lightweight Champion of the World, the Fighting Pride of Ireland, KT Irish Katie